Constant proportionality to slope. This is a digital lesson, and it's for students who've had some exposure to constant proportionality and you want to move them into slope. So it starts out with a review of a proportional line. So students are just going to put an X in the box next to the proportional graph. So it would be a straight line through the origin. So the only one that would be proportional, they're going to just type an X. The next slide reminds students that the K is the constant of proportionality, which is a y over x, the change in y over the change in x. So you find 2 points that are on the line, and between the 2 points, you look at the change in y first. So this would be 2 over the change in x, which would be 3. So the constant of proportionality would be 2/3. And on the next slide, students are going to find that constant of proportionality. And they're going to use this equation y equals kx, just replace the k with the constant. So the constant of proportionality on this graph would be 3, and the equation for the line y equals 3x. So if they count all the way up here, they're going to get 6 over 2, and they have to simplify that to 3. They're going to do the same thing on the next slide. Find the constant of proportionality and create the equation for a line. The next slide, they're going to write the entire equation. And then they're shown a graph with a negative slope. So this one goes down from left to right. That means the constant of proportionality will be a negative number. So here, if you go down 5, that's -5, to the right 2, so -5 halves. And then they're just going to write the equation. And then we're shown lines on graphs that are not proportional. They're not straight lines through the origin. They are straight lines, but they don't go through the origin. So to find the equation for this line, we need to know the y-intercept, or we call it b in the equation. The y-intercept is the place or the point where the line crosses the y-axis. So here it crosses at 3. So the y-intercept would be 3. And then the y over x we call the slope. So slope would be, again, y over x, this one 2/3, 2 over 3. So the slope, all they're asking on this slide is the slope, which is 2/3. So the next slide, again, they're going to find the y-intercept. They're going to type it in, the slope, and then the equation for the line, y equals, and this would be, the slope would go here, mx, m is the slope, and b would be the y-intercept. So they've got several graphs to practice. Find the y-intercept, find the slope, and then type the equation for the line. And here they have a negative slope. Now on this slide, slide 13, students are going to actually create their line. So they're given the equation y equals 2x plus -3. And these points are movable. So the first thing they're going to do is find the y-intercept. Well, that would be -3. So they're going to click and hold on one of the points and place it at -3. So we know the line's going to go through this point. And then to find the other point, they're going to look at the slope, which is 2. So they're going to rise 2 to the right 1, and their second point would go right here. 2 over 1. So they're going to type the y-intercept, the slope, and the equation for the line. The last thing they have to do on this slide is to create the line. So they're going to come up here and use the line tool. So they just click on the arrow, and then they're going to click on line. And they have a plus sign here. So they're just going to click on the plus sign. It gives them a line. So I'm going to move that up a little bit. And if they click and hold on these little blue circles at the end of the line, they can move the line wherever they like. They have to play around with this a little bit, but they want it to go through both points. I'm going to start here. And we want to make sure each time it's a slope of 2. They can play around with this. They can change the color of the line, or they can change the thickness of the line if they like. So then they just fill in the y-intercept, the slope, the equation for the line, and make sure they show the line on their graph. Now the final slide is a drag and drop for vocabulary. Students are just going to click and hold on the edge of these and put them in the correct place in the sentence frames. So the equation for a proportional line would be y equals kx, and so on. So that each one of these will have a place. So that is digital lesson, constant of proportionality to slope.